What is going on, guys? It's Shu here, bringing you another review on Dr. Stone. Now, this episode, I'm not gonna lie to you, was sad. Sad for Suika. And when I watched this episode, I'm also gonna say this ahead of time because it really made me choke up a little bit because of the animals. Um, I'll touch more about that later, but just seeing the animals was really sad. I worried about them, and I need answers. And I may not wait very long. In fact, I might just go back in a few chapters and see what happened to them because I need answers. And I may or may not like it, and I may even talk about it in the finale, well, the next review. So we'll see. But without further ado, guys, let's get to it. So, we start this episode pretty dark. In fact, we see everything being in shambles. It's rough, actually. We saw a lot of bloodshed in the last episode, and it was a fast episode when it came to that. And in this one, they just put the cherry on top when it came to that, because the remaining guys suffered the same fate, and I hated that. At this point, Stanley, to me, was nothing more than a monster. Like, he truly just did what he wanted. He wasn't even a soldier. He was just a mindless destruction machine, and I hated it. And we even see Senku get shot. He's dying. He's actively dying. And, we see Zeno talking to him. Zeno kind of accepts his fate. He just kind of lets this happen. And we see that no matter what, science was always going to prevail. And that the hunger that Senku and the Kingdom of Science had was much bigger than Zeno's. And I love that, because in the end, Zeno just kind of realizes that he is no match for the hunger that these guys have, especially Senku. He realizes that Senku and him could have been buddies in a different time, in a different life, because they're so similar. But it's because they're too similar that they probably wouldn't have gone along. And I don't feel bad for Stanley, because he actually starts thinking about, his possible, this might be it for him. He might just stay a statue forever, because he realizes that, yes, he's been Zeno's best friend and maybe even more throughout his entire life, but he cares more about science and his well-being than his own. So we may or may not see Stanley again, and I'm totally fine with that, especially after everything he's done. I mean, it didn't have to get to this point. It really didn't, but it did. And so we see everyone going through that petrification. And of course, we saw that Suika was set up to be the one to save them all. And it's rough. I was not expecting Suika to be the one to be the savior, but it's sad too, because like I said, in the animals, for me, Suika's pets, the little pig and the dog, we've seen them for a good portion of the journey. And, we kind of get an idea that time has gone by. We see that seasons go by, the time goes by, and they got older. And I don't know that they're still around. And I really feel sad about that. It really kind of messed me up. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm very, being transparent here, I'm 100% sensitive when it comes to animals in movies and shows. I need to know their well-being. I know that it's an anime. I get that. It's cartoon or whatever, but I care for animals, dude. I really do. And seeing them alone without Suika or anyone else, and then trying to be around them, it's just sad. So I don't know what happened to them, and I need answers. But moving forward, we see Suika is the one to get up. and she's struggling hard. She's thinking that maybe she could find some more revival fluid. Looks everywhere around, anywhere she could think of, and nothing. And she breaks down. She also breaks down in tears and cries. And she thinks about how hard her life is going to be without everybody. But it's her responsibility as the only living human right now to find a way to get the revival fluid. And, it's going to take some time. And so, she thinks about Senku and how he was alone first, and how he managed, and he created this whole thing, and now it's her turn. And she does well. So we'll see how she moves forward going here. But that's it for me, guys. As always, stay safe.